Welcome to the Spiritually Empowered Podcast, your virtual sanctuary for soul growth, spiritual healing, divine purpose, and conscious manifestation. Together we'll explore mysticism and magic, Buddhist and yogic teachings for inner liberation, shamanic energy medicine, psychic development, and tools to wield your power and protect your energy during this time of global awakening. I'm Ashley Coleman, ordained shamanic minister, advanced energy medicine practitioner, spiritual teacher, and devoted student of life's deepest mysteries. I'm here to help you alchemize ancient soul wounds, reclaim your power, and rise into your sacred calling to bring healing to this world in a way that only you can. I'm so honored to be here with you. Let's dive in. If you have been wondering, what is next for me? Who is my soulmate? What is my next career move? What am I meant to do next on my path? How do I use my gifts to serve a higher purpose? And you keep asking your oracle cards and talking to your angels, and you keep reaching out, but you're not hearing the answer. Keep watching, because I'm going to share with you why that is and what your task is if you're not receiving those answers yet. Welcome to Mystic Monday. I am Reverend Ashley, your spirit guide and friend, here to walk with you each week on Mystic Monday, bringing you ancient esoteric teachings from all over the world, distilling them and making them immediately useful and applicable to you in your life today. This is where we focus on grounded spirituality and practical mysticism, where you get the magic and the strategy, because we need both. We need the higher chakras of intuition, and we need the lower chakras of discipline and consistent effort. Discipline in the highest sense of the word. Maybe you like devotion better. A couple years ago, I was searching for answers. I often search for answers, but a couple years ago, I was searching for answers, and who am I going to date next? And what is my next business move? And nothing was coming to me. I was reaching out to God. I was reaching out, reaching out. You know, that feeling where you're just extending yourself. What am I meant to do? Maybe it's time to start asking, who am I meant to become to hold more? What is my curriculum right now in my life? And your curriculum is your life today. Are you called to work out more? Are you called to drink more water? What is the message in your daily life? I used to need to put down the oracle cards, put down the spiritual seeking, and actually embed myself deeper into harmony in my daily life, something that I resisted for a long time. I used to think that structure and follow through and planning were a loss, was the loss of my freedom. I used to think that structure and planning and being devoted to a schedule equaled losing my freedom and my intuition. But when I started to balance out my daily life, the answers for what I was looking for came in. So my personal will, the power that I have within me to make adjustments to my behavior in my daily life, was my greatest spiritual practice. You can have your oracle cards, you can have your conversations with the angels, you can have it all. But the secret to getting to your next level is by harmonizing your actions and how you live in your daily life. And by asking the question, who am I meant to become to hold more? Instead of asking what's next and who am I going to date next, who am I meant to become to hold more? Your identity is the glue that holds together your personal experience of yourself and therefore your life. Your personality creates your personal reality, as Dr. Joe Dispenza would say. And the secret, the message, the spiritual teaching is not in your spiritual practices. It is in your daily life. And when we talk about the feminine principle, we talk about descending into the realness and the temporal reality that is our daily life. We've been programmed. Let me know if you haven't been programmed, but I've been programmed to think that spirituality is up here, that we are meant to transcend and let go of the material things and let go of our desires and transcend the regular mundane reality. And this is why I'm obsessed with Buddhism, because Buddhism, especially Zen Buddhism, teaches your greatest awakening happens when you're doing the dishes. One of my most life-changing spiritual experiences happened in the Kroger parking lot. I was in the heat of a 7-year addiction, nearing the end. I was in a 4-year toxic relationship. I had just had my first spiritual awakening. I was talking to the angels. I was growing my soul. I was starting to untether from the bullshit, from the life that I did not want, but I felt trapped in. And I was in the Kroger parking lot. I was walking to my car. I felt the sun hit my face, and I just felt this alignment with my soul. I felt that I was starting to live in integrity for the first time in my entire life since being a baby. I felt my soul breathing and coming back. And I was walking to my car, and this woman drives by and rolls down her window, and she looks at me. She says, "Hey, I like you. I don't know what you're doing, but keep doing it. Something about your energy." Rolled the window up, drove off. I got into my car and cried my eyes out. I cried because it was like God literally possessed this woman to deliver a message to me. And that message was, you are on the right track. You're getting it. You're doing it. And I could feel that my behavior was starting to match my soul's wisdom. When your behavior and how you live doesn't match your soul's wisdom, you feel caged, like you have invisible handcuffs to a life you don't want. And I've realized and learned that prayer without works is dead. You can pray and pray and pray, but if you don't change your behavior, which is really freaking hard, as the animal of our body gets conditioned to follow patterns and to repeat the familiar. The animal of our body, this beautiful vessel, is programmed to follow the familiar. And if we don't interrupt that program, we will repeat our family dynamics. We will repeat the diseases that go in the bloodline. We will repeat in this sick society. We will regurgitate the past if we don't system interrupt, pattern interrupt. And the pattern interrupt is awareness. And when you know more, when you realize you're not meant to be smoking all this pot, when that was me, when you realize you don't belong in this relationship, when you realize you have a purpose that is going to give you so much joy, when you realize that, when you awaken, now your behavior needs to change. And if your behavior doesn't change and you're waking up, that's psychosis. That's when you feel, and I'm not talking about like the medical definition, but spiritual psychosis, when you feel like you're going crazy because your insides don't match your life. There's an incoherence with what you are on the inside and who you're being on the outside. And that woman who drove by in that car, that was a God wink. That was a moment in time, in the most mundane moment of grocery shopping, where I got this internal, yes, your behavior is matching your reality. Today, that lesson for me has been having a daily structure. I have been so against external authorities. I don't know if you can tell from my content, but I've been so against the programming of society. Be your own self, build your own self. You can go too far in any direction, by the way. The Buddha taught the middle path. Any path of extreme leads to destruction. Any path of extreme leads to destruction. Look around the world. There's a lot of that going on right now. So my task in this phase of my life, and I had so much resistance to it, and I did hypnotherapy and worked with my coach and did all these things, but ultimately I needed to change my daily life behavior. I was waking up at 9 a.m. I was saying, what am I doing today? By the way, I have inheritance, I have resources in this life, so I don't have a job similar to other people. I'm an entrepreneur. I build my own programs, and I've really struggled with have being my own boss. The boss in me was totally untethered until a week ago, where I would wake up at whatever time, I would go to the gym when I felt like it. There was nothing anchoring my spirit, and I felt depressed. I felt chaotic. And the thing I needed to do was the thing I was resisting the most. And people say, right, what is that quote? The cave you fear to enter holds the wisdom you seek. It's not in the oracle cards. I love oracle cards. I love cacao. I love the things. You can go too far in that realm. Spirituality can be an escape from the responsibility of daily living. I have seen that. I have felt that. Know that I'm talking to me. I'm not talking at you. We are in this together. And drop a heart below in the comments if you're on YouTube, if you're resonating with this. Spirituality is meant to be embodied into structure. And about a week ago, I wrote my own protocol. My coach was like, here, do this protocol, blah, blah, blah. Somebody else wrote it. And I'm like, screw that. I'm going to write my own protocol. And I use Chinese medicine and I wake up before 7:30 and I eat breakfast before 9 a.m. And then I go on a bike ride and I have a structure. I finally feel held. And me changing my behavior was the key to unlock the change I was looking for. In other words, I got off the meditation cushion and I faced the discomfort of change and what I had control over. I went to the gym today and I pushed through a workout. I got a personal trainer twice a week because I was done going to the gym when I felt like it, because I wouldn't go. I'd go like once every 3 weeks when I felt like it. If you're doing things just when you feel like it, you're not going to have a strong relationship with your partner. You're not going to get stronger in the gym. Like, that's not it. It's not spiritual to be ungrounded. It's not spiritual to deny structure. And structure, as much as I resisted it, I wanted it. And I probably resisted it because change is uncomfortable. When you make a change in the physical world, building a house, people sweat. They grunt and it's hard and they might stub their toe. Creating change in the physical world requires pushing. And once you get into the flow of it, like say, I'm planning on keeping this up moving forward, it's going to come with more ease. But at first, when you're starting something, there's a push and then it flows. So this is a pattern interrupt. Joe Dispenza calls it crossing the river of change. And it's uncomfortable. And it's so worth it. When I go to bed at night, when I go to bed tonight, knowing that I followed through and I did it no matter how I felt, no matter what mood I was in. I used to really live life based on my mood. And that's not the vibe. That is too much yin or feminine energy and not enough masculine or yang energy. That masculine is the chalice that holds the water of life. It's the container where God flows into to create matter, to create something. And remember this, one person's medicine is another person's poison. Like my partner, for example, he does structure naturally. He has his routine. He wakes up at the crack of dawn, goes to the gym, right? His medicine is more often than not to relax, to grow his intuition, to flow, to embrace joy. And that's the feminine principle. Men have an inner feminine principle that they are there to evolve. Women have an inner masculine principle that they are there to evolve. And however you express yourself and your identity, we have both of these energies. So these teachings aren't meant for everyone. This teaching, what I'm sharing, is meant for the person that's really good at effing around and having fun and dancing and pulling cards and doing the rituals and just enjoying life and flow and flow. And if there's not a container of structure and progress and devotion, you'll wake up and you'll still be flowing and you won't have gotten anywhere new, because it is these two energies that are meant to be in matrimony. Nature does this beautifully, structure and flow. And when one's out of balance, the other one is out of balance. So as I devote myself to this daily structure, my protocol that I created, embodying my own inner authority, as I do that, I will actually grow my inner feminine too. And I'll actually relax more and feel at rest, because when I wasn't embodying that structure, I wasn't at rest. Even though I was pulling the cards, it started to feel like it was worn out, that way of life. And that awakening for me came through pain. And what does Carl Jung say? There's no coming to consciousness without pain. Pain means move. If you're watching this in August 2026 or in the next year or so from that date, we've got a lot of stuff in Aries astrologically right now. And the medicine is move, not rush, not abandon yourself while you move, but actually embrace hummingbird medicine and shamanism, where hummingbird goes on the epic journey of crossing the ocean. And we might say, I'm not ready yet. I'm not old enough. I'm not young enough. I'm not skinny enough. I can't do this. We might have our excuses, but hummingbird medicine says, go on the journey. Answer the call, no matter what. This is being an Aini with your soul, doing as you are guided. And the hummingbird teaches us the beauty way, to not suffer through it, but to make it beautiful, to get a smoothie after the gym, to read your Kindle before bed with a cup of hot chocolate, to bring sweetness. To bring sweetness into the moment. If you're in the bath, how about a piece of dark chocolate, right? This is Tantra too, where we are bringing more pleasure into the moment. If I'm at the gym, I'm listening to my favorite music, I'm bringing in beauty. The hummingbird asks us to write an original story, to not repeat our family patterns, but to write a new story. So this week, my love, take whatever message in here really spoke to you, whatever pinged you, take that, write it down, live it, embody it. These teachings are meant to be worked and practiced. And maybe you have felt the pain of readiness to change. Maybe you have felt that discordant energy where you cannot keep behaving, living, thinking the way that you are anymore. And that is a blessing too. When the child puts their hand over the stove, they learn when they get burned, right? Oh, shoot, don't do that. Pain is a messenger and it means move. I would love to hear what in this video spoke to you the most. Thank you so much for being here, my love. It is a joy to be with you each week. If you loved the teaching today, please subscribe, like, comment, share, all the things that help me grow this show and help more people. I will see you next week. Love you. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you loved this episode, share it with somebody who you really feel would benefit from this message. I'm sending you lots of love, and I'll see you in the next episode.